We're going to start laying down actually today. So find a comfortable laying position, flat down on your back. It's up to you whether you want to have your feet flat on the floor or whether you want to have your legs out straight in front of you. It's entirely up to you. Choose whatever's more comfortable for you. So laying flat on your back, I'm going to go with knees bent, partly because there's a cat in my way. Hands down by your sides, or you can rest your hands on your rib cage. Again, whichever feels more comfortable. If you've got your feet flat on the floor, it can be helpful just to allow your knees to drop together. And as always, you can either close your eyes or have your eyes open. Again, it's about what feels right and what feels comfortable for you. Just to spend a few moments allowing yourself to settle. And trying to let go of anything that might be in your mind. Imagine that there's a gentle breeze sweeping through your head, just allowing any thoughts to just float away on the breeze. And as your thoughts float away, allowing your attention to rest on your breath. Noticing the gentle rhythmic flow of your breath. Nice and easy. Nice and gentle. No need for too much effort. Just being with what is. We're bringing your attention back into your body. And bringing your hands up overhead, just being aware of anything that's around you. Bringing your feet out in front and allowing yourself a lovely fingertip to toe tip stretch. So really stretching through the ends of the fingers, the tips of your toes. And then allowing that to relax with hands overhead, feet out in front. And then stretch through your left fingertips and your right toes. So you're stretching left fingertips and right toes. And allow that to relax. And this time you're going to stretch for your left toes and your right fingertips. So left toes and right fingertips, really stretching as far as you can. And then allow that to relax. And then one more time, stretching out through both fingertips and both toes. Really stretching, making yourself as long as you can. And allow that to relax. And then relax for a few breaths. With your hands out behind you, your feet out in front, and just allow everything to sink down into the earth. Now bring your hands down by your sides, palms face down on the earth. Bend your knees, bring your feet in close to your buttocks, your feet hip width apart, firmly planted on the earth. Roll your shoulder blades down your back, tuck your chin very slightly so you've got a nice long back of your neck. We're going to take some bridge poses, so Setu Bandhasana. We're going to start by gently tucking your tailbone and then peeling your vertebrae up off the earth one at a time. So you gently push into your feet as you lift. Chest comes towards chin, hips up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, very gently lowering yourself all the way back down to the earth. Again, one vertebrae at a time. Trying to really isolate each individual segment of your spine. And keep this going. So on your next inhale, lift again. And then on the exhale, lower yourself back down. Take care that your knees don't drop out to the side. So imagine you're holding an imaginary brick between your knees. And if you want to, you can add your arms into this movement. So as you inhale and lift, you bring your hands up overhead, so the backs of your hands come down to the earth. And then as you exhale and lower, your hands come gently back down to your sides, palms facing the earth. So taking a few more of these, work with your breath. There's absolutely no need to rush this. The next time you lower, we will all meet down on the earth. So just allowing yourself to rest on the earth. And then when you're ready, bring your knees into your belly and allow yourself a nice knee hug. So we're going to rock our way up to seated, but I'd like you to rock backwards and forwards 2 or 3 times before you find your way up. And when you find your way up, see if you can rock yourself up and hover your feet just off the floor. We're rocking backwards and forwards 2 or 3 times. This can be a lovely spine massage. And then when you finally come up, see if you can just come up and hover with your feet off the earth. Lovely. And then allow your feet to come down. So bringing your legs out wide in a kind of straddle position. So obviously working with your body, being with where is comfortable for you. That's not necessarily the position that I'm in. It's absolutely fine if your legs are in here somewhere. If that's comfortable, that's great. And sitting up nice and straight. Making sure your toes are pointing up towards the sky, which should help you lift your kneecaps. Shoulder blades down your back. And then bring your hands out in front and imagine that you're holding a giant wooden spoon. And then taking some tiny circles. Doesn't matter which direction, either direction is fine. And then gradually making those circles bigger and bigger. And eventually, you'll find that you've reached your maximum stretch. This is really great for helping with the digestion. It's also really good for pelvic flexibility, good for the hips. And then changing directions. So starting with the really big circles in the other direction. Nice and big. And then gradually starting to make those circles smaller and smaller. Until eventually you're upright once again, just making some tiny circles. Lovely. And allowing hands to relax. Now inhale, bring both hands up overhead. Exhale, turn towards your right hand side. So allowing your hands to rest either side of your right leg, turning to look over your right shoulder. So you can make this twist as intense as you would like to. It's quite nice sometimes just to point over the right leg. Trying to keep nice and straight through the sides of your body. And then on an exhale, walking your hands down along the length of your legs. So you come to a forward fold. So you're bringing your nose down towards your knee. And allow yourself to rest there and breathe. And then inhale, walk your hands back up. Bring both hands back up overhead and come back to center. On an exhale, turn to look to your left. Drop your hands, turning to look over the left shoulder to come to a twist. Nice and straight through the spine. Dropping your shoulder blades down your back. Nice, even, can't get my words out. Nice, gentle breath. And then on an exhale, walking your hands down either side of your leg, bringing your nose down towards your knee. And allow yourself to rest there and breathe. And then inhale, walking your hands back up, bringing hands back up overhead. Exhaling back to center and hands back down to your side. And from here, we are going to come over to all fours. So placing your hands below shoulders, knees below hips. And we're going to take a few freeform movements to start with around our cat position, so from our all fours. So leaving hands planted and knees planted. But other than that, moving in any way that feels nice. And then start to bring that back to your all fours position. And we're just going to take some circles with the hips. So again, leaving hands where they are. Just see if you can rotate your hips in one direction. And then change direction, so you're circling the hips the other way around. And then come back to your all fours, nice neutral flat back. And we'll take a few cat stretches. So drop the belly and inhale as you look up. And then arch the back and looking down as you exhale. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So just like at the beginning with Seti Bandhasana, trying to isolate each vertebrae so each one moves separately. And then coming back to a flat back. Leaving the nice right angle position here with your hips, walk your hands out in front of you. So you can either bring the crown of your head to the floor or your forehead to the floor. Or you might start to be able to bring your chin and chest to the floor, but most likely you'll be forehead or crown of head. Breathing here, feeling the stretch through the upper arms. And then pushing into the hands and ease yourself down onto the floor to come and lay flat down on your belly. Bring your hands so they are either side of your chest. Sorry, bring your elbows so they were either side of your chest. So your forearms are out in front of you. Your middle fingers are pointing straight forwards. And then tuck your tailbone, so you're pushing your pubic bone into the mat. Push the tops of your feet gently into the earth. And on an inhale, push into your forearms to lift yourself up to Sphinx pose. Keep your shoulder blades down your back, nice long neck. Pushing the forearms into the earth, keep the tailbone tucking. And then exhale, lower yourself all the way back down to the mat. So you might stay there, or you might bring your hands now so they're either side of your chest. Roll your shoulder blades down your back. Tuck your tailbone, pushing your pubic bone into the mat. Push the tops of your feet into the mat. And then inhaling, pushing into your hands to come up to cobra. So it's absolutely fine if your cobra's right down here. Work with where your body is. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to come out towards the sides of your mat. So for some of you, that might be enough. That might be quite intense already through the hips. Or some of you might feel that you want to push into the hands and lift yourself up to cobra. Again, work with what feels right for you. If you're having any lower back pain here, then ease right off, take the pain out of your back. Make sure you keep your tailbone tucked. And then from here, if you want to, you can push into your hands and lift yourself up and then come all the way back to a wide leg child. So forehead comes to the floor, hands come out in front. You come to your child's pose. That doesn't feel like the right thing to do, then gently ease yourself back to all fours and to child's pose. Taking a few nice even breaths here. And And then gently ease your way up to kneeling. Bring both hands up overhead. Exhale, drop your right hand down to one side. Bring your left hand overhead, reaching away with your fingertips. We're feeling the stretch through the left hand side of the body here. And then inhaling, bringing both hands back up overhead. Exhale, drop the left hand down, reaching away with the right fingertips, opening through the right side of your body. And then inhale, bring both hands back up overhead. Exhale, allow the hands to come down by your sides. Come from here to lay flat down on your back once again. Resting your hands on your lower belly. Bring your feet so your feet are together, knees bent. We're going to inhale, lift hands up overhead, and as you do so, allow the knees to drop out to the sides. And then exhale, bring knees back together and bringing your hands back down to your belly. Inhaling, lifting hands up, knees open. And exhaling, bringing everything back into center. To keep this going, work in time with your own breath. Trying to keep your breath nice and even, nice and gentle. Allow the breath to lead and the movement to be secondary. And then picking one of these movements or one of these positions, either fully open or fully closed, it's up to you. And allow yourself to rest. If you choose the open position, then it's helpful to bring the soles of your feet together. Breathing into the pose. If you've chosen the open position, on an exhale, bringing everything back to center. And then set yourself up for Shavasana. So allowing your feet to come out in front, hands to come down by your sides. You're only going to be here for a couple of minutes. And then let go. Allow the earth to hold you. There's no longer a need for any focus on the breath. Just allow yourself for the next couple of minutes to rest and to restore. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And find your way to your right hand side to rest in the recovery position. And then find your way up to seated. Bringing hands up overhead in the Prana Mudra. Palms together overhead to the crown of your head. To your third eye for wisdom and clarity of thought. To your lips and then your throat for peace and love in all that we say. And to your heart space to love unconditionally. So thank you for sharing today's practice. Namaste.